guys, how you guys doing? Hope everybody's great. Man, it's been a hell of a week. Good Lord, I am booked down to the minute. Not this minute, but I'm booked down to every other minute until the end of the month. And then we get into September where we're doing the whole other thing I'll tell you about. But man, it's been a crazy week. I chipped a tooth, man. I've had a few of these teeth rebuilt down here. And I was at my favorite restaurant here in Nashville called Rolf and Daughters, man. It's amazing, this place. The whole thing is just great, man. I love the food, the vibe, the wine, everything's great. Speaking of wine, I'm having a little red wine tonight, celebrating a couple things. This is from Patty Lovelace's party and from her induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which was a long time coming, man. Patty's amazing. I'm drinking a little Italian red, which I like. A little blend of some nice Italian wines. A lot of you guys out there know that I like that wine, man. My buddy goes, just drink the wines of places that you've been to, because there's no way you're going to learn about all these other wines. So I do like the Barolos and the Barbarescos and Chianti Classicos and those varieties from Italy. So I'm just having some fun, man. Thanks a million for all the kind words and all the support, man. I gotta say that every time, because I'm feeling good, man. At 45 and a half years old, feeling good. All the things that I wanted to be doing 3 to 5 years ago, they're all happening now, and bigger and better than I ever thought they would be. So man, it just shows you got to just latch onto something and keep digging in and keep working. You're going to see some results if you're consistent and you keep working at these things. That goes for anything, whether it's exercise or music, it doesn't matter. So I was eating at Rolf and Daughters, and I bit down on some sourdough bread, and the crust was a little hard, and I chipped this bottom tooth. So I go to the dentist. I got this dentist over here who's a nut, man. He's we call him Dr. Smiles, and he's like the rock and roll doctor, man. He's like got rock music playing. He's in there singing, and he's a badass, man. He just rebuilt his tooth, and bam, I was out of there. But they told me I had some high blood pressure, and I was like, well, yeah, man. I've been amped up, and I've been running, nonstop for weeks, and I could tell I was kind of amped up. And they were like, yeah, it's kind of high, and I was like, well, go to the emergency room high. And they were like, no, not that high, or we wouldn't have worked on you, and all that stuff. And if they're going to give you, I guess, anesthesia, they need to know what your blood pressure is or whatever. And so I know I'll get a lot of comments on all this shit, but anyway, so I was like, oh shit, yeah, high blood pressure. So then I just started chilling out a little bit, man. That week I put my phone down more. I started exercising again. On a more regular basis, and then just kind of started chilling out a little bit, and man, then I went to the doctor on Monday, and my blood pressure was 124/80, which is back down to a reasonable level. And then of course I got my blood test back. I'm doing a full-blown physical, man. Eyes, blood work, everything. The calcium scan, I got scheduled a colonoscopy for the first time. I mean, I'm 45 years old, so I got to go do that. I mean, Jesus Christ, here we go. Got a little high blood pressure report, or high cholesterol report. Little high, nothing too crazy. But man, I'm about to start getting back into the health thing, man. I got to start taking care of myself, and I don't eat bad. I know what to eat, and I know what good food is, but we all slip, and man, it's just you gotta stay on it, man. So if anybody out there is dealing with the same things as me, of completely trying to ride the fence of like always having something to celebrate, always having something to there's dinners, there's parties, there's events. You're out of town, you're in New York, you're in Chicago, you're in New Orleans, you're in Nashville, you're eating and drinking and having a good time, but my buddy goes, look, man, he goes, you're running a tab on your body. He goes, eventually you got to pay the tab. So anyway, hey, man, look, to get into some guitar stuff, this is just kind of an open-ended little discussion here. This is not really anything specific. I wanted to play that little You Are My Sunshine thing because that just goes to show you that, like, right out of the major scale. That's F, right? Right back down to the major scale. So man, this stuff is just, I think what's happening here is a lot of people, the more lessons I teach, a lot of this stuff is getting really overthought. If you learn your chord shapes up the neck and you start seeing this and you do what I'm saying of the chord is the foundation, the arpeggio is the next level of framework, the pentatonic is the next level, then the major scale. If you do that in major, minor, dominant 7, this is some of the stuff that's really, really going to help you expand the fingerboard of this guitar. And so there's a couple things that I would like to tell you. So the major sound and the minor sound are not genres. And so a lot of people are like, well, I know major and minor. I can play minor. I've been using that on everything. Well, you can't really do that. So a minor chord could be in a song where there's major chords, minor chords, dominant 7 chords, major 7 chords. All these chords could be in one song. So we have to be able to navigate over the chord, not just throw a blanket over the whole, world of guitar playing and say that we can do minor pentatonic. That's not going to work. So we have to really get into these sounds, man, like major. What does major sound like? C major. That's major. You're hearing, that's your major third. This is your minor third. So that's a completely different, when we go from major to minor, that's F7, right? So C minor. And another thing is the unsung hero of the cage system is the hand position. You have got to know the right hand position, or you're constantly going to be searching, because if you're in this hand position but you're trying to do something with your first finger here, well, then you're in this position. So you've got to be in the right hand position. I mean, this stuff is it's going to help you so much if you just spend a little bit of time with these fundamentals. So the minor sound, right, C minor, F7. So you're targeting these notes, right? If I go, you can tell I'm changing chords. I'm targeting those notes. So if I go up C minor, and I play over F7, I'm just targeting those notes that fit with that chord. So there's a couple phrasing exercises you can use. If I'm playing a minor, here's my minor scale that I like to use, the 1, adding the 2 to the minor pentatonic. You know, emphasizing that minor 9 sound. Very cool. So if I do that, then I can play this cool little phrasing idea where it lands you on a chord tone every single time. Watch, groups of 3. Back down. Right? That's a great exercise. And so that lands you on a chord tone every single time. You're not landing on the 2, you're landing on the flat 3 to the 5, 5 to the 1, root to the flat 3 to the 5, 5 to the root to the flat 3. If it's major, play the natural third. Perfect every time. It works every time. And it works in every chord position. That was the E shape. Let's go to the G shape. Right? A shape. So it's about landing on these chord tones, but you got to know the chord tones. So there's a little bit with that. A couple of these, I'm just jumping around here, totally, friends. I know it's crazy. I mean, it's nutty. I don't have anything planned. I'd just like to sit down and start playing and see what comes out. So, I'm not saying that, you know, I don't need an award for that or anything. It's nothing special, but I do like to just sit down here and kind of have this conversation with you guys, man. We're hanging out. Maybe you guys are having a little red wine, and maybe you're having a little beer or something, you know, just to chill out. I went to the doctor and found out I was not dying, and so I'm celebrating a little bit. But not too much. This old guy that was about 100 years old in New York City, one of my dear friends' dad, he was a legend in New York. He started the Mail-In Record Club, and he was a big engineer in New York. And these guys, you know, did very well. And I was having dinner at the bottom of the Modern Museum of Art one night, and his son, who's a dear friend, got up to use the restroom. And I'm sitting here. I just turned 40 years old. I'm sitting at the dinner table with this 100-year-old man who's amazing. And I said, man, you know, I don't get a chance to ask somebody like you advice very often. I said, what kind of advice would you give a 40-year-old dude that plays the guitar for a living and tries to run his own business? And the guy goes, I'll tell you exactly what you do. He goes, you never lose your sense of humor, and you have one glass of red wine every night. And I went, dude, I think I can get down with that. So no stock tips, no bullshit, just those two things. I thought that was amazing. But anyway, just some of this Delta blues stuff, man. You know, this little lick right here, if you're just playing the blues. So I'm sliding up to the blues thing where, you know, that's coming from an E7. But I'm using the major third. That little rake. That's what I want to show you. So this little turnaround, when you go to the 5, I like to put the bass on the low string, the fifth of the B chord, F sharp. So if I go, all right, that's enough for tonight, folks. I'm just messing around here. Hope you enjoyed some of that and got something out of it. I'll be back in a day or so. It's just, man, it's crazy stuff. We're going down to TrueFire to do some ArtistWorks curriculum updates, 100 new lessons, new backing tracks, all this stuff we're doing for ArtistWorks to kick that up to the next level. It's time to do a fresh coat of paint on that course, so we're coming up with some bangers. That's going to be awesome. Man, this video is going on way too long. But we got the Uncle Larry in stereo record release party happening August 16th and 17th. We'll probably see a bunch of you guys there. Don't forget Bitter End in New York City, November 18, 19, and 20. The GT Trio, Tom Bukovac, Jed Hughes, Nick Goverick, special guest, 3 nights in New York at the Bitter End. It's going to be incredible. Those tickets will be going on sale real soon. And then, guys, love you, man. Just stay cool. We'll be seeing a bunch of you guys real soon. And thanks for all the support. Check the links below. Hit the tip jug if you're feeling inspired. And life is good, man. Stay healthy. We'll see you soon. All right. Cheers.